and determination, but also for his quick temper. Arvind was a blacksmith by trade, and he worked hard in his forge, creating tools and weapons for the villagers. His skill was unparalleled, but his anger was just as notorious. If something went wrong, whether it was a missed hammer strike or a failed attempt at shaping metal, Arvind would lose his temper, shouting and throwing things. His anger burned hot and fierce, just like the fire in his forge. His colleagues would avoid working with him, and even the villagers began to distance themselves, afraid of his volatile outbursts. Arvind's anger, like a furnace, consumed him, leaving him restless and isolated. One afternoon, as Arvind was working at his forge, an old wandering monk entered the village. He was a man of peace, known for his wisdom and calm demeanor. The villagers respected him, and some had even heard that he had the ability to help people find inner peace, no matter how troubled they were. The monk heard of Arvind's anger and decided to visit him. He made his way to the blacksmith's shop, where Arvind was hammering away at a piece of metal. The monk stood quietly in the doorway, watching the blacksmith work for a few moments. Finally, Arvind, noticing the monk, stopped his work and looked up. "Can I help you, old man?" he asked curtly, his temper still simmering from the morning's frustration. The monk smiled gently and nodded. "I have heard that you are a skilled blacksmith, Arvind, but also that your anger burns as fiercely as the fire in your forge." Arvind bristled, his pride stung by the monk's observation. "What do you know of my anger? It is nothing to concern you. It's just a part of who I am." The monk, undeterred, said, "Let me show you something that might help you understand it better. I would like to offer you a small challenge." Curious, yet skeptical, Arvind agreed. "What kind of challenge?" The monk pointed to a large, glowing piece of iron that Arvind had just pulled from the fire. "Hold this hot iron in your hand for a moment," the monk said, his tone calm but firm. Arvind's eyes widened in surprise. "Are you mad? That's too hot. I would burn myself." The monk simply nodded. "Yes, you will burn yourself. But tell me, if you hold onto the iron for longer than necessary, what will happen?" "I'll burn myself badly," Arvind replied, looking at the monk with a mixture of confusion and disbelief. "Exactly," said the monk. "Now, think of your anger like this hot iron. When you are angry, it burns you from within, just as the iron would burn you if you held it too long. Anger, like this hot iron, is not something that hurts others as much as it hurts the one who holds onto it." Arvind stood silently for a moment, pondering the monk's words. The metaphor struck him deeply, but he still found it hard to let go of his anger, which had been a part of him for so long. The monk continued, "You see, Arvind, when you hold on to anger, you are only hurting yourself. You may feel powerful in the moment, but the longer you hold onto it, the more it consumes you, just as the iron will continue to burn you the longer you keep it in your hand. The pain grows, and eventually, it destroys you from within. Let go of it, and you will find relief." Arvind, still uncertain, slowly put down the hot iron, feeling the burning sensation begin to fade. "But how do I let go of this anger? It feels as though it controls me, not the other way around." The monk smiled, his eyes filled with understanding. "Anger, like the hot iron, is a natural emotion. It comes into your life just as the iron comes from the fire. But you do not have to hold on to it. When anger rises, stop and observe it. Feel its heat, but do not hold on to it. Let it pass, just as you put down the iron. The key is in your ability to choose not to hold it any longer." For the first time, Arvind understood. His anger had been something he grasped and clung to, as though it were a part of him. He realized that by holding on to his anger, he had been allowing it to burn him, just as the hot iron would burn anyone who refused to let go. From that day forward, Arvind began to practice mindfulness whenever anger rose within him. Instead of reacting immediately, he would take a moment to pause, breathe, and observe the feeling of anger without holding onto it. Slowly, he learned to release the intensity of his anger, much like letting go of a hot iron. Over time, Arvind's temper became less frequent, and when it did arise, he was able to manage it with calmness and clarity. The villagers noticed the change in him, and he began to rebuild the relationships that had been strained by his past outbursts. His forge became a place not just of craftsmanship, but also of peace, where he worked with calmness and focus, no longer driven by the flames of anger. Arvind's life transformed, and he became known not only for his skill as a blacksmith but also for his newfound wisdom and self-control. He had learned the powerful lesson that anger, when held onto, burns the person who clings to it. Letting go of it brought peace, and in that peace, Arvind found his true strength. Moral of the story: holding on to anger is like holding a hot iron, it burns the person who clings to it. Anger, though natural, becomes destructive when we hold on to it. By choosing to release it, just as we would let go of something that burns us, we free ourselves from its destructive power. True strength comes not from holding on to anger, but from the ability to let it go and find peace in the moment. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.